You have to take that time and that energy and consider yourself worth it. A lot of you think, well, I ain't got time for journaling. What you're saying is you're not worth the time and the investment in identifying how you can improve yourself and put yourself on the highest degree of performance. That's really what you're saying when you say, I do not want to journal. I don't want to do that. I don't want to put a progress of measuring my progress in black and white in front of me where I can look at where my progress started and where I'm at today. That's how you know you can do it, because you see the things that you're learning. See, if you don't write it down, you're going to forget it. If you don't write it down, you're never going to remember it and revisit it. If someone, after you were long gone, finds your journal, are they going to read the diary of a madman that was so abusive to themselves? Or, wow, this person was very encouraging to themselves. And I can see that they have identified their progress. See, you all want to see trade statistics. Bro, show me your MyFX book. Bro, show me that you got on the leaderboard on the funded account challenge or whatever it is. I can't think of that. I don't know how they work, but I know TopStat has a leaderboard. I don't know if the other companies do. Get on the Robbins Cup or we don't believe you. Okay? This is a litmus test for idiots. It is. It really is. Because what you're saying is you have to see somebody else show you something. And let's be honest. If everything's shown to that type of person, they're still not going to do anything. They're just going to be mad and huff and puff and just go and try to troll somebody else. So it's not that they want to be inspired to learn how to do what you're learning how to do. They're just in here to try to find some kind of talking point. But you do very similar things in the beginning if you're not guarded. You want the opinions of others to support you and encourage you. Why should anybody that's not a part of this community think now? If they're not already a part of this group here, why would you expect them to encourage you? That's insanity. You're asking someone on the outside to have the same perspective or a higher opinion of what you're trying to do and learn than you do yourself. And then you're weighing the delivery of that opinion being favorable for you as a basis for you to continue. Going up to a blind man and say, hey, which flower here is prettier? Is it this one here in my right hand, or which one is it the left hand or the right hand? Which one's prettier? How the fuck does he know? And that's exactly what you're doing with everybody else. You're saying, hey, look, what do you think? The only thing they got to go on is everybody else's opinion. And if it's a positive, you're a cultist. You're all brainwashed. You're not seeing me call price. You're not seeing me execute. You're not seeing those things. You're not seeing other students making real money with it. You're not seeing that. They ignore that. So how can you take their opinion as balanced? It never happens. But because they know that your mentality is wrapped around this 30-second TikTok duration. You have short attention spans. You're wondering why people are stupid today? It's because they've stopped teaching. It's all about feelings. It's about having experiences online. We don't have conversations anymore. You don't sit down and write with a pen and pad a letter or sit down and type out a letter. It's throw it to me in a text, throw it to me in a post on social media, and hey, you're my buddy, you're my friend. That's bullshit. When I talk to you, I care about the audience that's I'm targeting. I'm talking to my children. That's why you listen to me, because you feel this sense of urgency for me to communicate this importance. Because the audience is my own flesh and blood. So I'm not going to shortchange them. I don't give a fuck if Tom, Dick, and Harry's fucking mentorship guy out there says he talks too much. He could have did this and did that. These people that do these 5-minute trainers, they're not doing shit. They're wasting your time, because the only thing they're doing is creating these very barriers that you don't realize are going to be appearing in front of you. You want it to happen for you fast. Well, guess what happens? When you try to do it and it doesn't happen fast for you, what do you think? Man, I can't do this. When I'm telling you, expect it going in, it's going to be hard. When you come into this, you're all dirt. You're just dirty. You don't have anything that shines. Nothing. You have a desire, but you're still just dirt. There's nothing that shines about you as a trader. But you have to refine that. Go through a process and change that. And then you can mold that. Apply a little bit of sweat. What's that? That's moisture. And you can now take that dirt and shape it into something. Mold it like pottery. And you shape that future self after constantly refining it. And it doesn't happen overnight. And I've never said it's going to be a fast process. I said it's going to be a lot of work. Not because it's hard to learn these things. The concepts are straightforward. As I was talking about yesterday on the live stream in the last hour of trading. The people that say it's complicated or I complicate trading, it's not. I actually have created more opportunities to trade. But in the hands of someone that wants to be self-defeating or self-destructive, those tendencies that are inside you that you haven't identified and wrestled them into submission and subduing them, those demons that are in you, if you don't have a way of subduing them, if you weaponize them where they can hurt you financially, they're going to jump on that opportunity every single time. And they're going to leave you demoralized, regretful, and eventually it's going to beat you down and you're going to be in depression. And depression is a physical feeling. It's something, it's not just, I don't feel good about myself, psychologically or emotionally. No, you feel depression. It's painful. And if you live in it long enough, it affects your health. You develop anxiety. You develop all these physical symptoms that you think that are emergencies when they're not. They're just physiological responses to things that our body has been created to give us. Sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Everybody's equipped with this. But the way you regulate these two nervous systems that's in everybody's body, the anatomic nervous system is, everybody has it. We don't think about breathing. It just happens, right? Have you ever had a moment, my wife said this to me about a month ago. She goes, I'm not sure how to describe this to you, but I feel like I forgot how to breathe. Because I've had anxiety before, I have perfect understanding of what she means. And maybe that probably struck a chord with some of you that are listening, where all of a sudden you think to yourself, I got to breathe more. I have to breathe faster and I have to breathe deeper. Nothing has changed. There's no immediate threat in the room with you. No one has jump scared you. No one's come out and tried to grab you and pull you into a van, teach you how to trade. These whole things of spontaneous anxiety, they may start off mildly like feeling like I can't catch my breath. Something's going on. If I don't consciously think about breathing, I feel like I'm going to stop. And what happens if I stop breathing? I'm probably going to die. And if this happens right before you go to sleep, guess what you're not doing? Sleep. So if you have problems with sleep, I don't have problems with sleep. Okay, when I talk about my sleep schedule, I have doctors tell me, you need to have 8 hours of sleep. Bullshit. You don't need 8 hours of sleep. When I was a working man, I needed 9 hours of sleep. I needed that because I was already keyed up as an individual. That's why I don't drink caffeine. I don't drink coffee. As a trader, if you don't have a complete mastery of yourself and you're drinking stimulants like coffee, because it has caffeine in it, what you're doing is you're literally pouring gas on a fire. And if you're not careful, you will cause yourself health problems later on that you really don't want. There's a right way to do this, folks. And you can live in a very balanced state. And you hear me talk and I sound imbalanced now because I want to maintain your attention. That's what this is. It's all about making sure that you don't fall asleep. Because it's real easy to fall asleep listening to me because it's not about making money right now. But it is about making money. You can't make money consistently until you master yourself, until you subdue these intrusive thoughts, until you subdue these demons that you're wrestling with that you have made house guests. You turn a blind eye. Oh, yeah, it's fucking Joe. He doesn't have a job. Always sits around, plays fucking Xbox all day long, eats up everything, doesn't buy anything, never takes a fucking bath. He stinks the whole house all up. But, He's now part of the furniture here. He's a staple here in the house. So I don't like to interact with them, but I know they're there. I can't do anything to get him out. I don't want to kick him out. He's a loved one. He's a family member. That's what you've done with these demons, these things that you hold on to. You guard them. You protect them. Instead of saying, get the fuck out of here, you don't belong here. You have no more business here. You're not holding me back no more. You're not a problem for me anymore. Get the fuck out. Replace it with something positive. I'm scared to take a trade. Why? Why are you afraid to take a trade? Because you have no model. You don't have a model because you had this demon constantly telling you, that's not going to work. Don't even bother putting any time into this. You're going to sit here and look back and I wasted 3 months if you get that far into it. And you're going to half-ass it when you say you're journaling. You're going to scribble a couple fucking words, draw a little diagram of something, draw, swing high or swing low, and draw a line there and say, that's an order block. Look, I did the journal. Look at this. This guy's a liar. Bro, I have people that have showed their journals to me, and they're like the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's volumes of shit. That's somebody that's going to do so much in the industry. It's crazy. Like, that's exactly the high end of what I'm encouraging from all of you. You don't need to be that far with it. But you have to record your progress. You have to record that. Otherwise, how can you reasonably comfort yourself when you feel like you want to quit? What do you have to hang your hat on when you feel like you don't want to do it anymore because you had a week of drawdown? What happens when you blow your account? What happens when you lose your funded account? What happens when you can't pass that funded account challenge and you don't have the money to spend on it again until the next paycheck? And then you got to wait. And you're thinking to yourself, maybe if I don't pay Netflix, maybe if I get rid of this and I get rid of that. Well, that's probably a good thing if you did that because watching TV is bullshit. I don't watch TV. I have old shows on Blu-ray. If I want to watch a movie, chances are it's probably something old because they don't have all that woke bullshit in it. But I watch very little of any entertainment stuff. If you don't have the progress report that you have encouraged yourself along the way and acknowledging where what you're learning didn't work in your hands that day, and you say, I'm glad I had the opportunity to see this fail because now I can go in and discover more about what it is I didn't know at the time when I took this idea. You see that? Is that something that you as a child, if you watch your child try to do something, try to learn how to ride a bike, you took the training wheels off, you've been walking with them, holding the seat, and now you want to let go. And you tell them, Timmy, Daddy's got you. But I know if I let go for a minute, you'll be fine. Trust it. Just keep pedaling. And you let go. And what happens if they panic and they fall down? Are you going to scold him? No. You're going to get him up, brush his knees off, his hands off, and say, hey, look, you know what? You did good just doing that right there. And you're not dead. You're not bleeding out. You didn't break a bone. But now let's get back on here and do it again. And they may fuss and say, I'm afraid. But what are you going to do? You're going to encourage them. That's what you do with yourself in your journal. You have to be a good parent in your journal. You are refining your future self. If you don't care about yourself, if you don't really love yourself, you're going to discover that in journaling. That's why these social media influencers are so fucking toxic. Because they hate themselves. They are not where they want to be at. And they are looking to outside influences, their audience members, to worship them and lift them up on a pedestal. Because they need that. They need that more than they need money. I don't need that, and I don't encourage it. And I don't need fucking money. And I'm teaching for free. I'm spending my Saturday morning with y'all. I'm hanging out with you on a non-monetized medium. Just talking, trying to encourage some friends of mine. That's all I'm trying to do here. But I bet you probably never thought about things like this. And that should be encouraging to you because chances are you were probably thinking about it differently and much more toxic and the metrics of measuring what your expectations were and what you're willing to put yourself through are far out of spec based on what I just said here. Isn't this a whole lot more comforting? If you approach your learning this way, would you not agree that yes, it takes some time to sit down and journal those things? If you don't want to do that, number one, it's shining a huge spotlight on the fact that you don't care enough about yourself and your future success to even consider it. But you're probably the same person that can entertain the idea of going to college. You probably were willing, unless you got a scholarship or your parents paid for your college, you took on student debt that you can't write off, just like taxes. I mean, you can't escape it. But you were willing to go through the process of putting yourself into long-term debt on something you were not even assured was going to be a profitable venture for you. Yeah, I want to be a marine biologist. Yeah, I want to be a psychologist. I want to study philosophy. Why the fuck do people go to college to get a degree in philosophy? I don't understand that. You read the Bible, read some, well-maintained texts, and you're going to get a better understanding of philosophy than you would from these bullshit indoctrination centers. But you're willing to put yourself through that 4 years or longer if you're going for a higher degree, PhD, master, something to that effect, to get to the degree of what I'm showing you with technical science. You want to get a PhD in technical science through ICT, the College of ICT, the School of Hard Fucking Knocks, because that's what this is. We don't have campus fucking parties. We don't have keg parties. We don't throw TP over the fucking trees and get drunk. We take it serious around here. We are, if trading had colleges, I'm the Ivy fucking League of it. Okay, that's just the way it is. I produce winners. I produce people that give a fuck about themselves. And when they learn how to do this, their esteem is really high. Their self-worth, extremely high. And to weaker people around them, it seems like narcissism. It seems like arrogance. And that's just you reflecting your own insignificance because you've beat yourself down. You let other people do that. They're holding you back. You're holding yourself back because you think toxic thoughts all the time. When I was going through agoraphobia in 2001, 2002, 2003, it was all based on the 9/11 attack. Like I was terrified. I had people that were not just me. I don't think I would have had this happen to me if I didn't have a wife and kid. If I didn't have that, I think I would have been like, well, yeah, I gotta be keep my head on a swivel. It is what it is. But because I had family members that I brought into this world with my wife that are not capable of taking care of themselves, and I have a wife that doesn't look at the world the way she does today, but back then she just was like anything else. Back then we didn't have social media like we have it today. But she used to watch TV news all the time. Every time news would be on, she's watching it. And I'm like, do you realize that nothing good just came off that fucking television? And you want to constantly come back to it? And then you start doing 10 o'clock news. Because 6 o'clock and 5 o'clock news wasn't enough. Now we got to get 10 o'clock because we got to prep you for the 11 o'clock news. And it's always bad, toxic shit. So I was always listening to, in the background, the terror threat's been raised from yellow to orange. That's what they used to do back then. They constantly were priming us to live in fear. And it worked on me. That was the weakest time of my life where I was allowing these assholes to convince me that impending doom was going to happen at any moment. And I was being indoctrinated. I was being brainwashed, like most people back then. And we just watched it now. There's still people driving the fuck around with masks by themselves with their windows rolled up in their car. What the hell's going on? And that's exactly what I told everybody on Twitter, this very app, in 2019. Watch what they're getting ready to do. And here you go. And it ain't done. We're getting ready to hit the real show. And I would be out of my mind with anxiety if I hadn't learned what I'm about to teach you. Everybody has stress. Everybody has stress. That's part of life. Jesus said you're going to have tribulation in this world. but not everybody's going to go through great tribulation. What happens if you have a bad day in the market? What happens if you have a bad day at your job, or you have a falling out in your relationship and you have a trading account open with real money or a funded account or a funded account challenge open that you can trade and see results in? What happens if you have a bad day? What's the first thing you feel like you want to do? Men, I already know what you want to do. Ladies, maybe not so much this, but men, you want to push the button and fuck around and find out. You want to replace that, I just got canned at my job. I just got made redundant and let go. I just got a final written warning that if I do this or don't live up to this output and performance, I'm going to be given my walking papers and fired, terminated. You're stressed out now, rightfully so. But chances are you probably didn't do the things I'm talking about in this Twitter space here today that could have mitigated all that by taking initiative, being responsible, owning it, and working towards progressing and being better. Because if you journal like this, you're going to find that it starts bleeding into your personal life, not just in trading. You'll find that you'll interact with people in a much more favorable and professional manner. You'll talk differently, your vocabulary will increase, and it won't be quickly reached for toxic opinions. You'll look for reasons to talk about something good and positive because you realize the effect it has on you. So therefore, wow, I know if I talk to someone and I talk about all the positives that I can see in someone and say, hey, look, I see what you're doing. And I think that you are doing an amazing thing here. And I like how you did this. Have you ever considered this? And then you've encouraged them. You acknowledged what they did was right, and you encourage them. That's what goes on in our community. I don't see that happening in other people's community. I see a competitive, I got to be better, I got to stand out. I have a few of those in my group, and they're revealing themselves. I don't need to know what sex they are. I can tell what they are, the way they talk in their posts. They're toxic males. They want to be dominating, okay? And chances are they're probably being reckless in their trading. You can read a person very easily by watching what they put on social media. You can see their frailties, you can see their strengths, you can see how they think. And how they share their opinion about other people is a direct relationship to how they view themselves. Because they're projecting. Are you someone like that? Are you someone that's like that? You're always critical, talking about everybody else, because you're thinking that if you do that, it eases the pain because you're not in your journal telling yourself that this is an opportunity to improve upon. These are a frailty. These are a character flaw that I have at the moment. But here's how I'm going to fix it and work towards making it better or less impactful for the negative aspects. You're being responsible with yourself. You're cultivating a proper learning environment. You're removing all toxicity. You're not inviting all of the opinions of others, even if they are loved ones, even if they are your spouse. They're not going to see it the way you see it right now. Let them discover how much a success you really are when you get there quietly. Don't talk about it. Because if you're going to talk about it, you're using energy that could have been used to study. That's time that could have been used for studying and journaling. If it's good enough for you to say it before you live it, before you have it in your hands, if you're going to say it out loud, because you hear this people talking about, I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to speak it into existence. You're not God. Only one can do that. But you can self-talk and encourage yourself. But in trading, you do not do that in social circles. You don't do that. Don't do that. You channel that stuff right into your journal. And when you have a bad day, you have a toxic day, that's a day you don't trade. But that's not what you want to hear. ICT, I don't give a shit what you say. I need to feel good. You ever see the movie Monster Ball? Halle Berry, Billy Bob Thornton. There's a scene in there where she's lit and she's trying to basically be intimate because she just needs to feel good. And that's exactly what she says in the script. Come on, I want to feel good. She's crying. I want to feel good. That's exactly what all of you are doing inside. And you're hoping that trading, making money is going to fill that. I can tell you, it doesn't. It doesn't. Every successful, consistently profitable trader, if they're absolutely 100% honest, that's not where their sense of fulfillment comes from. It comes from the fact that they have a model that they trust, that they refined, that they worked towards, that they guarded, that they had faith in, that faith grew over time. And they journaled their progress and they refined it, where they are never tinkering with it. That means they're never trying to add something or take away something. They're content with that. And that is a sense of mindset that you can't put a price tag on that. Your job's not guaranteed. You're going to be there 5 years from now. You're not guaranteed to be here tomorrow. Your profitable trade isn't guaranteed in your next transaction and you're clicking of the button. It's not guaranteed. But the folks that have a sound model that they've worked and refined, they don't obsess about that. They understand that every trade is a losing trade, that their skill set, that their faith-based model that they have groomed and they've isolated to, this is all I'm going to look for. This is all I'm worried about. This is the time I'm focusing on trading. I'm not in there all day long trading. Again, that's somebody that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay, you're inviting the rate of failure exponentially. Get in there more than you should when you don't know what the hell you're doing. Wrong. Surgeons, doctors, they're specialists. Everybody that goes through med school are not proctologists. But in trading, everybody on social media is a fucking proctologist. They got their finger in everybody's ass sniffing, what did you have for lunch? They're in everybody's fucking business. Surgeons, they're brain surgeons, they're heart surgeons, they're orthopedic surgeons. They specialize. They went through the same schooling, but then branched off and said, this is what I'm doing. What did they do? What did they do? Do you think that they were fucking journaling and studying feet? If they're going to be a brain surgeon? They want to know everything about the foot and the anatomy, the nerve endings of a foot when they're studying the brain or the heart or any other, a gastric surgeon. No. They reduce their focus in on one specific task. Their model as a surgeon is that they have to know exactly how they're going to cut and engage the human body for the purposes of helping this particular part of the human body heal. The outcome is, if that trade, if we want to personify it that way, it's profitable if the patient is improved and gets to live longer and a more fulfilling life. And the ailment they came in to have addressed gets corrected by the surgeon's model being applied to that body. We don't go to a general practitioner when we need surgery. We may need to initially get a recommendation, like here, I'm going to recommend you go to this surgeon here. But they're not doing the cutting. They're just doing a genuine evaluation. We don't need that here. As a trader, you're that. You're the CEO, you're the CFO. You're the person that gets fired when you blow the account. You're the person that has to do fundraising to start it up again. It's everything. You incorporated. That's what this is. And you're saying that you're not interested in journaling? When every corporate enterprise has some measure of doing that same KPI measurement. KPIs, they're performance measurements. How well you're performing. What's your output? What's the results of those output? And if you don't do that with yourself, The enterprise that you daydream about yourself being, this super rock star riding around in Lear jets, driving cars that are too expensive, oil change cost too much, and nobody gives a shit after 2 days of looking at it. Oh, yeah, who cares?